I hope you guys are ready for Sync Up Part 2, the sequel. Last year, we had our first in-person event near the LAX airport in Los Angeles, and it was incredibly successful, incredibly enriching, friendship building, and also successful in terms of many of you that either joined us virtually online or in person were able to directly secure contracts with production music libraries for the first time. That's one of the main reasons why I'm putting together Sync Up, why we're doing another one, and why many of you might want to consider joining us this year, maybe again if you came last year. But I really hope a lot of you that didn't come last year join us, whether it's virtual or in person. But I want to see some new faces this year because I love meeting you guys. So this is one of the few times, pretty much the only time, I get to interact with you guys on a meaningful person-to-person basis. So I always, at least last year, I was just buzzing with excitement by the end of it. So I can't wait for this one. This year, it will be June 1st and 2nd, obviously this year in Los Angeles. There is a virtual option. You do not have to join us in person if you cannot attend. And there will only be 50 tickets, 50 tickets made available for the in-person event, okay? Virtually, we obviously can stream it as many times as we need to. So there's no limit on the virtual tickets. But if you do plan to be with us, there are only 50 spots. And once those 50 spots are gone, we're cutting it off. We intentionally keep this event small and intimate. It gives you more opportunity to network and connect with each other so it doesn't feel like you're lost in a sea of people. But more importantly, way more opportunities for you to just directly connect with and hang out with the library CEOs that are going to be attending this event, which I'm going to showcase here in just a minute, okay? And now the other caveat, the big thing I got to let you know, you might be looking, if you're on YouTube right now, you're like, well, where's the link? I want to go check this out. I am only making the early bird tickets. That's what we're going to be offering starting today. I'm only making early bird tickets available to current Sync Academy, Sync Edge, Pro Feedback, and Sync Connect members, okay? So if you are already in one of our platforms, it doesn't matter which one, you will see a link within those platforms to go check out this event, get to this website, and potentially get a ticket if you'd like to. These tickets during the early bird session are heavily discounted, and I'll show you guys those prices here in just a minute. We might sell out of these 50 tickets in this early bird offering. It's going to we're gonna have the early bird phase starting from today until April 1st. So basically about week and a half. And once the 50 tickets are gone, these links are going to disappear. The virtual tickets will be there still, of course. And whatever you want to do in terms of if it's virtual or in person, you will get a massive discount if you sign up within this early bird window, which expires in basically a week and a half, okay? Let me just jump right into it. Why do you want to potentially join us? Well, of course, making connections is going to be the number one thing. To potentially partner with a production music library, to have a guarantee that if you submit your music to any one of these 7 music library CEOs I'm about to show you, you get a guarantee with this event that they will absolutely click on your link and listen to it. They decide if they want to bring you on, and if they do, your email and your phone number are going right alongside your submission. It doesn't go through me. I am not a middleman. I've never shopped music. I don't want to be in that business at all. I want to just foster and create and help you guys create your own direct relationships with library CEOs. So that's one of the main things. Of course, connecting and creating friendships with your fellow Sync Academy members and other Sync licensing producers that can last a lifetime is obviously also possible. I definitely feel much more connected to many of you now as a result of our last year's event, and I know that will continue on this year. Of course, we're going to talk about the latest trends in the business. AI is still something we got to wrap our heads around, and how do we make sure that we are staying relevant and on top of what the industry is looking for? Well, these CEOs are all going to get in front of the room with us and on camera for those virtual tickets, and they're going to tell us what they're looking for right now. What are their clients looking for? What are the trends? What are the things that are really hot? What are the things that are not? So you're going to have a front row seat to what the industry is really all about this year, 2024, going on right now. So very relevant and very modern. This is going to be a new one. We're going to get some in-person private feedback options for some of you that want to get private feedback, okay? Last year, we had a couple of feedback sessions in the room with everybody, but this year, we're going to step it up. We're actually going to take you guys into your own private room with a professional, with either a library owner or a very accomplished sync licensing producer who's going to sit down with you side by side in person, listen to a track that you submit, and give you some helpful feedback. This is actually only available to those of you that join us in person, okay? Sorry for those of you that are virtually, we're not gonna be able to do that, but for those of you that are there in person, this is gonna be a new feature that we didn't do last year that I think is gonna be really helpful for some of you guys that need a little bit of coaching and guidance. And of course, pitching your tracks to music library CEOs. That's one of the main benefits of this. And you do, whether or not you join us in person or you want to get a virtual plus ticket, I'll share with you what that means in a second. You will get a guarantee that your music will be listened to by the one library CEO that you submit to. You do have to select one library CEO. And of course, I highly recommend you wait to make that selection until after you've heard from all of them, because these are going to be human beings speaking either on camera or with you in person right there in front. And you can ask them your questions if you'd like to. So you should probably wait until you hear from them before you decide which one feels like they're the right fit for you in terms of what they're looking for, what kind of placements they go after, and whether or not you feel like this is just somebody that you would want to go grab a beer with. If they feel like somebody that you'd want to really connect with, that can be something that you can figure out as a result of this. So drum roll, let's get into the guest speakers. All right. Here's who we have. These are the library CEOs. I'll start with them first, and then we'll get into our other guest speakers right below that. But some of these are familiar faces that we had last year. In fact, I'd say the first four are familiar ones that we had last year. But we have some new faces as well. So many of you guys know Mike of Reverse Play. Reverse Play has some amazing credits, and they're definitely on the cutting edge of many technologies right now. Mike is involved with a lot of interesting stuff. He's also a music editor. He's going to talk to us about his experience as a music editor and what kinds of tracks get placements versus which ones that don't, so we can learn from his experience in that world. But as you can see, Cobra Kai and many other video game and social media promos and film and TV trailers as well. Reverse Play is just a great, awesome, very versatile company that does some amazing stuff. And Mike has been a part of our community for years now. And the reason why he continues to be there is because he's just a very solid guy who has some really high standards for his company and what he accepts. And by the way, you cannot submit to Reverse Play outside of events like Sync Up. He does not accept unsolicited submissions at all. So if you do want to have a chance of maybe getting a listen from Mike, this will be your opportunity to do that. Perry of Epic Music, obviously another solid guy, a guy that I've personally worked with, that I've had my music with for many, many years, and I highly recommend you guys consider working with him as well. As you can see here, Major League Baseball, Sony, Netflix, Outback Steakhouse, NBA, PNC Bank. So NHL. So lots of sports, lots of high quality content. And Perry's just one of these guys. He's just super professional. I think that's basically the best word I would describe it. He's always calm, collected, cool. He's got a very great way. In all the opportunities I've worked with him, he's just a great communicator, and he gets past all the noise and he goes directly into how to potentially really service his clients, his TV and film clients, and act extremely professional as he does that. And so I think he's just a master at removing the emotions, because sometimes we can all get hot under the collar. So he's great at that. So I'm really excited to have him join us. And he and I might be talking about, we'll see how the future goes, but we might be talking about a theme that I might hopefully be getting here soon. But even if I don't get that theme, we'll find something amazing to do. But I think if we get that theme, it'd be kind of a cool thing to show you guys our step one all the way till step whatever it's going to be 100 of getting this theme secured with a major sports talk show. So that'll be a kind of a cool panel for us to do. Trevor of Get It Done. I think you guys know Trevor. If not, obviously you guys can see the kinds of placements that Trevor and his crew do. Amazing stuff here. Soul, Wakanda, Fortnite, the list goes on and on and on. So he's obviously very, very strong. He's got some amazing music in his catalog, and he works with some really high quality vocalists and producers and composers and stuff. So obviously Trevor is going to be a great addition to this, and he's going to have a presentation on how to start your own library. So if you've been curious about how do I maybe start my own library at some point, even if you don't want to do it now, this will be a presentation you definitely don't want to miss. And if you have a ticket, whether it's virtual or in person, you'll get access to the replay of that. So you can watch it in the future if you need to. So he's somebody who now it's been 5 years, I think, since he started his company, but it's still fresh in his mind on how he did it. So he's going to give us a sort of step-by-step presentation on how to do that. AJ, what I'm really excited about with AJ is he gets to be there in person this year. Last year he was there, but just on a Zoom call, and it was a little bit weird to see him just on a wall on a screen. And now AJ will be there in person. Now AJ, obviously of Future Hits, huge placements, huge clients that he has worked with. AJ is a library owner, and he's obviously a 13-time, if you didn't know, a 13-time Emmy Award winner. So yeah, kind of an accomplished guy. He focuses on sync licensing hit songs, basically with vocals and lyrics. So we're going to have a whole hour-and-a-half panel on what is a sync hit, what are the elements of a sync hit, and then he's going to play some examples in his catalog of really strong songs that he thinks are either have already been placed or will definitely get placed in the future based on the fact that they have hit quality. So this is something that I'm personally interested in because I'm really getting into writing songs again myself. And it's something that we should all be wrapping our heads around because adding vocals and creating full songs is definitely more and more high demand these days. So AJ, we're gonna have an amazing panel with him actually first thing Sunday morning. So that's gonna be great. Timo was somebody that joined us recently in a Sync Connect session, and he was so impressive with the feedback that he gave that I invited him and I needed him to be a part of this event. And luckily he did say yes, that he would do that. And as you can see here, very accomplished as well. Call of Duty, The Mandalorian, Coca-Cola, Sherlock Holmes, Batman Begins, Law and Order, CSI. So the placements go on and on and on. And Timo is one of these guys. It's just a very authentic, real person, very generous, really cares about the community, obviously is very, very giving and generous with his time and the feedback that he's given. So he's just done some amazing stuff, and I was just super impressed by our Sync Connect session. So I invited him to be there in person, and luckily he's in the LA area, and he said yes. So that's going to be a great time to speak with him. Duddy Brown of Audio Socket. I've also had Jen, the CEO of Audio Socket, on my website. Jen is in the UK, so she couldn't be there, but Duddy is LA based, and he is the executive producer. He's kind of their lead composer, producer. And as you can see with Audio Socket, between Disney, HBO, ESPN, Netflix, Coca-Cola, they're pretty good. Okay, they do some really good stuff. And Duddy is a very, very talented producer and composer, and also just intricately involved with Audio Socket's dealings. So we're really going to pick his brain on the sort of formulas that he's figured out on how to become a very accomplished sync licensing producer, listening to some of his placements. We're also going to have a lot more music playing during this event. So I think with every one of these CEOs, we're going to be playing the music that they have in their catalog, at least an example, some placements, so you can kind of get a feel for what they're really excited about and what they're all about. So that'll be great to have Duddy there. And then the final, definitely not the least, but the final CEO we'll have is Eric from Sonic Librarian. Eric was also another amazing CEO that joined us for a Sync Connect session not too long ago and had some great, very helpful, insightful thoughts. So that's why I needed to invite him as well. So he's got Fortnite here. He's got Game of Thrones, Modern Family, all kinds of cool stuff that he's been working on. As you can see, even here, the list is too long to actually name, but we were actually talking in our Sync Connect session about his Office placement, which I thought was so cool because that was like the big show that I wanted to get when I was first getting into sync licensing. I was like, damn it, you got that one. But it was really cool that he was sharing us the story about how that kind of came together. So it was really a cool session for us. So Eric, again, really solid guy, very generous with his time, and just somebody that I'm really looking forward to connecting with in person. Okay, so these are the, of course, and I'm going to be there, but these are the 7 CEOs that you can potentially pitch to if you get a Virtual Plus ticket or an in-person ticket. Okay, and you can obviously do your research if you'd like to as well. Then we're gonna have some motivational speakers. Papstar, he's been on my channel a few times. He had a really, really heart-wrenching story of getting, close to suicide essentially back in 2019, and just had a lot of heartbreak in his life. And it was sync licensing that kind of saved him and put him back on a path to being productive and motivating and finding his purpose again. So Papstar is now, an accomplished sync licensing producer and a motivational speaker. So I had to get him out this year. So he'll be there to give a really, probably heart-wrenching, get your Kleenex out because it's probably going to be a really hard one to listen to, but also very powerful and important for us to really remember what we're doing this for. How do we, see ourselves in this industry, and what is the power of really taking control over our lives and over our careers with sync licensing? So I'm really excited to have him there. Hans is one of our OGs in our community, and Hans is just an amazing, very accomplished, songwriter, artist, and sync licensing producer as well. And he's going to have some really great insights on, he's about 4 years into this industry, and he has been through some tough times. He's definitely seen a lot of what this industry has to offer. And so we've been having some great conversations about what he can present. And I really want this event's not just going to be all rah, sync is great, it's amazing. We're going to give you some honest, red pills in this presentation and in this event. And some of that's going to be some uncomfortable truth. AI obviously sneaks itself into those situations, but Hans is going to give you just the honest, raw truth of what it feels like to be quite a few years in this business and how he is, struggling with some of it and accomplishing and sticking with some of it and figuring out how do you manage this balance between, filling up your own cup creatively and giving to people consistently with a lot of sync licensing clients. Anthony was on my channel a few months back. He is now clearing over 20 grand a year in sync licensing after only a couple of years doing it. So he's one of these rare examples of just getting amazing results very quickly. And luckily, as I reached out to Anthony, he's in the LA area as well. So he's going to be there in person to give a little presentation. You guys can ask him any questions you'd like to. With all of these, you can ask all of your questions you'd like to about how they're doing, what they're doing, and how they're succeeding. And then Yele, of course, is another amazing member of our Pro Feedback community and Sync Academy community. Has done amazingly well from his home studio. Somebody just like me who had no relationships in the beginning, had no connections, was a sort of quote unquote nobody, is now working with some of the biggest production music libraries out there, and he's had orchestras compose and perform the music that he has composed, and he's had some amazing results already as well. So I had to get Yele out there to potentially give you guys some feedback. So when you guys get some in-person feedback, I will make an announcement at some point very soon on which one of these will be. It won't be all of these people, but there will be. I'll be selecting from these guest speakers the people that will be the reviewers of your music, and I will try to do my best to pair the right one with you based on the music that you have. Okay. So we have a lot of success stories from last year. These are just 4 major ones that we had. I also have this really cool promo just showing you a lot of the testimonials, and you can kind of feel the energy in the room if you click on this top one. So you get an idea for that one. I'll also link it below if you're on YouTube, you can check that out. But I've been releasing these success stories from Sync Up. This is a virtual member, so you don't have to be there in person to get a deal. This was a member that got accepted virtually from overseas, actually. These 3 were in person, but either way, there are ways for you guys to get access to these direct deals and getting your music listened to by the CEOs. All right, so the schedule here, you guys, if you're in Sync Academy, you can click on this to check it out a little bit more. Obviously, I'll start us off on Saturday morning on the 1st. A little bit of a sync marketing presentation, not in detail or depth about like marketing, but basically making sure that we are not getting lost in the weeds, and we want to make sure that any time that we're taking to produce production music is going to be marketable and useful for the libraries that we work with. So just a little quick overview on that kind of thing. And then we're going to do a mastermind break where you guys get to connect with each other. We're going to do a really cool, we have a new cool process that we're going to do this year that's going to make sure that there's not too noisy in the room. Last year got a little chaotic. This year will be much more controlled, but still structured. So you don't have to worry about it. If you're a little socially awkward, don't worry about it. We got you covered. We're going to have guided questions and conversation points that you guys should be having with the people at your table. There's actually going to be tables in the room, not just rows like we had last year, but kind of banquet tables. So you get to know the people at your table, fairly intimately. So that'll be kind of cool. Then Mike will join us. He's going to talk about music editing and all the ins and outs of all that. We'll take a lunch break. We'll come back. And basically, this is where we're going to be knocking out library CEOs one at a time. We'll start with Duddy Brown. We'll go to Timo. Then we'll go to Eric. And then we'll finish off with Perry at 5 o'clock. And then 6 o'clock is when we're going to have our premium dinner. That's the one that only the premium members will get access to. I'll share with you that option in a second. But 6 p.m. at the hotel. We did this last year. We have a private dinner with all the CEOs that were invited. And those of you that are premium members get to join us for a private dinner. It's really cool. It lasts a couple hours. Drinks are included. Obviously, don't get too drunk. You don't want to make a kind of a jerk and ass of yourself in front of all these CEOs. But have a drink. We'll have some appetizers. Order anything you want on the menu. So it's going to be a really cool time for us to hang out and break bread together, so to speak. Then Sunday, bright and early, we're hitting it with AJ. We're going to be talking about writing a sync hit song. This is one thing you don't want to miss out. We'll take a little break. That's when we'll maybe do some pictures, hang out. I want to really talk with you guys a little bit more as well. We'll have Papstar come up talking about his really, really intense story in 2019 and how that all played out in his life. Then Trevor's going to give us his presentation after the lunch break on how to start your own library. Very important. Anthony, who's doing great, making over 20K, he's going to share with us all of his secrets for how he's doing that. Yele will talk about his orchestral sync secrets and how he's doing well. Hans will be talking about the differences between artist and artisan and sort of balancing, your creativity and serving this industry. And one of the last panels we'll have Mike and Trevor of Reverse Play and Get It Done come back up, and we'll basically have a sort of joint panel between them on their 2 libraries. And this is the new one we're doing. We're going to be doing some Sync Up Awards. So we don't get enough play or excitement or shine or really appreciation. We get no respect, right? We don't get any respect in this business, but I would like to, for those of you that show up in person, I would potentially like to award you. I'm going to have 3 awards. And for those of you that get an in-person ticket, you can submit your track. I think the deadline is May 1st, so you can't do it all the way up until the end of because I need to get some trophies made for the ones that I think are the strongest. But there'll be 3 categories, and for those of you that get an in-person ticket, you'll see those 3 categories when you submit your track for the Sync Up Award. There'll be a Google form that you get access to. But we'll review it. I'll have the other library CEOs review many of them as well, and we'll collectively come up with basically the top 3 winners based on the categories that are there. And we're going to just give a little presentation at the end of it, just to give you guys some shine, have you, flying home or driving home with a nice little trophy or an award or whatever it is that we're going to put together for you. But just something to give you guys a little bit more just shine and appreciation for the hard work that you guys do in this business. And of course, we will be playing those songs at the event. I'm going to be investing in some extremely high quality speakers, like $1,000 per, like it'll be a $2,000 system that I'm basically investing in. So we're going to be playing a lot of music at this event. I don't think we played enough last year, so just get ready. We're going to have a lot of music and a lot of placements being featured in front of the presentation. All right, long rant. Let's get into the tickets. So as I said before, there are 2 ways that you can participate. You can do it virtually, and that's for those of you that feel like, traveling is just not feasible right now. Totally cool. You can do that. For early bird, this is the early bird prices that you're seeing right here, okay? So if you are in our community, you're going to see these prices. $49, you get to stream the entire 2-day event. We're also going to have Zoom breakout rooms. That's a new feature. We didn't do that last year. You'll get to also connect with other people virtually if you'd like to during our networking breaks and our lunch breaks. So you can definitely do that if you'd like to. Everything's recorded. You'll get access to everything recorded. You don't have to join us live to enjoy this. You can watch it afterwards. If you do want to submit your track and have a guarantee that any one of those 7 CEOs will listen to it, that is a $99 upgrade, but it is available to you if you want to stream this virtually. You don't have to be there in person to get that benefit. I intentionally kept that open because I know that I don't want this to be only for those that can afford to travel there in person to have this benefit. So basically $149, you can have that access to stream the entire event, join us for the Zoom sessions, and have a submission to any one of those CEOs with a guarantee that they'll listen to whatever you submit to them, okay? Now, if you're going to join us in person, I hope you guys are going to do that, many of you. Obviously, you get to attend it into the 2-day event in person. You'll get a guarantee to ask your questions. I will do my best to field questions from the virtual crowd. I just can't guarantee I'll get to all of them. But if you're there in the room and we have a panel with any of these CEOs or any of these guest speakers, you get to jump right in front. You'll ask a question right there on camera and right there on the mic. And by the way, with the virtual experience, I will have 2 cameras going. Last year I had 1. This year you'll have 1 in front and you'll have 1 showing the entire crowd. So you'll feel you're a little bit more immersed. And of course, a direct feed of the presentation if there's a PowerPoint or something like that. So don't worry, you'll get a lot of access to the cool stuff going on there. But in person, you get to ask your questions. Of course, the opportunity to potentially network directly with library CEOs is a little bit or a lot higher in person. You also get access to the recorded video. So if you go to the bathroom or you sleep in one morning, don't worry about it. You can watch everything afterwards. Networking with each other, networking with me, networking with other single licensing producers. It's a really, really powerful thing. We don't get enough opportunities to do that. It's really enriching. It's for your soul and for your motivation and for your feeling of being in a community. So of course, you come in person, you get to submit your track for a Sync Up award. Only in person gets to do that. I will have t-shirts. I'll have a little swag bag, so you'll get some access to some of those. And I think I'll be throwing out some candy again. I had some fun last year throwing candy bars into the crowd. We'll probably do that again. And your in-person ticket is including submitting your music to a library CEO. So that feature is included with every in-person ticket. That's not an extra upgrade you have to pay for. That's included with your $299 spot. Now, I didn't even say this. On April 1st, virtual goes up to $99, and on April 1st, the in-person goes up to $499, okay? So you're saving $200 today on the in-person. You're saving $50 today on the virtual, okay? If you do want to get the in-person feedback, you can do that. It's just a $99 upgrade on top of your $299 ticket. So that's just something if you want to. Not everybody's going to want that, but if you feel like that'd be helpful, you can absolutely do that. And the review sessions, I would say, are going to last between 10 to 20 minutes, depending on how long your track is and how much feedback the reviewer is going to be able to do. Now, if you want to step it up, there's only going to be 10 of these, though. I want you guys to be aware of this. I don't know if these might get all taken today. I don't know. Last time we did this, it was actually the VIP. They were called VIP last year. The VIP tickets actually sold out faster than anything else. So it might happen again today. Do not know. But just so you know, there's only 10 of these available. I'm not making this unlimited, okay? This is the premium in-person option for those of you that want to take up your experience just another notch. You obviously get to do everything that the in-person ticket gets with the event t-shirt and swag bag. You get to submit a track for the Sync Up Awards, all that good stuff. You get to submit your track to a library, of course. But this one does come included the feedback on your music, so that you don't have to pay for the upgrade. That's included with your ticket. You also get priority seating. Okay, that's a really big deal. You get to sit at the front 2 tables in front of the room, which are the closest to all the guest speakers, which basically means closest to all the CEOs. So a little bit more opportunity for you to connect with, especially when we take our breaks. They're going to be there hanging out. Feel free to walk up and talk to them and thank them for their time. We don't allow any in-person pitching. All the pitching and the submission process will be handled virtually, digitally after the event. But absolutely feel free to make an impression and talk to them and shake their hand and get a vibe for them. That's going to be a really cool feature of this event. And if you have a premium seat, you obviously get a little bit better access to these people who are at the front of the room. Okay. Now, the biggest benefit, of course, of the premium option is the private dinner. That's the one that I just mentioned, which is going to be something that you have to. Last year, it definitely for me was pretty much the highlight of the entire weekend of just not even really necessarily talking about sync licensing. I remember most of our conversations we were talking about, raising kids and just the struggles of just other things in life and just what do we, all of our other interests and hobbies and stuff. So you really start to create a little bit more of a human connection with the people that you are going to potentially partner with. So that's going to be a really amazing opportunity for those of you. And last year was so cool that they had it was just like this banquet table set up at the hotel, and the appetizers came out right as we sat down. I just felt like royalty. I was like, this is amazing service. They just took care of us so well, and it was such a cool experience. So you obviously get access to that private dinner, and this will be $699. You get a $300 discount joining us right now during this early bird phase. I don't know if we will, but if we do have extra premium tickets available after the early bird phase, this will go up to $999, basically $1,000. So I have no doubt that these are going to sell very, very quickly because our event last year was so high quality and so enriching for people that I have no doubt that these are going to go quickly. Whether or not they all go, that remains to be seen. But if you are at all interested in this dinner and interested in being in the front row of the event and obviously getting the feedback for your music, don't sit on this one because these premium spots can go very, very quickly. That's all I got for you guys. If this event gets canceled for any reason, like if I drop dead, God forbid, or something happens, everything's refundable if the event gets canceled. There's very little chance it's going to get canceled, though. I have no thinking that this is going to get canceled at all. But if it does, just know that there's always 100% refund if something just doesn't come through or whatever. So just know that you got that guarantee there. So I wish you guys all the best. There will be a link below if you are in Sync Academy or any of our other platforms to go get your ticket if you'd like to. And again, this one's expiring April 1st, so you basically got a couple of days here to get these tickets and to secure one of your in-person spots, which is basically 40 of them, and the premium ones, which are 10. So wish you guys all the best. If you have any questions, comment below. I'd love to answer them and hopefully help you guys make a decision one way or another. This is going to be a great event for you, but I know for me, it's going to be a really, really amazing one. So I'm excited. Can't wait to see you guys on June 1st and 2nd.